Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you how to create the score meter in your game. So as you see, we already have created two score meter. One is career and another is economy. So I want to create one more score meter, which is going to be public sentiment. I am going to create it with the help of Gemini. So let me open Gemini first, and if you see over here, I had got this sample from the internet and I have used this prompt to create this public sentiment fill and frame. So the above one, this one is the fill. As you see, it has the score color in it, so this is known as the fill, and the above one is the frame, which is empty. What we do is we overlap these two to give an impression that the score is increasing and decreasing. You will be able to see it once we complete our implementation. So let's remove the background of that image. As you saw, it had a black background, so we are going to use this remove PG, and we are to remove the background of that image. So we dragged and dropped our image over here, and now this is going to remove the background and make it transparent. So it's done. Now we are going to download the image. Our image is downloaded. Now let's go to Unity and get our transparent backgrounded image over here. So let's drag and drop it to our asset image folder. So once we drag and dropped it here, it may take some time. So once we have it, we can use it in our project. So it is now here. As you see, this is the newly added one. We are going to do two changes. First is for this pixel per unit, we are going to change this to 32, and we are going to make use of no filter. So let's open the sprite editor once to see if it is properly done. So you see, it has automatically detected both the public and both the frame and the fill separately, so no need to change anything. We can directly use it. So now let's go to our panel and let's create an empty game object. So now we have an empty game object. Let's rename this to public sentiment. Once we have created this, now we are going to create both the frame and the fill. So let's rename the first one as the frame and create one more image and rename this to fill. Okay, now we are going to use the image that we had created using Gemini. So let's drag and drop it over here. And for the fill one, we are going to take the fill image and drag and drop to the source. Now as you can see on the game screen, we have our score meter over here for public sentiment, but we need to change its width and its height. So let's see what other meters are using, and we are just going to use the same one. So it is 224. So let's make the width 224 and the height 49. Let's do the same thing for the fill, and as you see now, it is the width and the height is perfect. We now need to place it properly so that it aligns with the other two score meters. So let's go to the scene window, and as you see, I have created a panel in which I am placing it. So let's drag this and drop it so that it aligns with the rest. Yeah, perfect. So let's see what other meters are using. It is -8, so let's change the value to -8 over here so that it aligns properly. Yes, so now as you see, it is aligning properly with the three Now let's go to the fill image object, and over here I want to change it to filled. You will see why we are doing this. Let's make this horizontal, and yeah, fill origin we need to leave it as left. Now as you see, as I change the value of fill amount, it gives you the perception that the score is increasing or decreasing. So this is how we create a score meter. Now what we are going to do is we are going to update this fill amount value through a script. And to do that, let's go to a script that I have created. So over here, as you see, I have already created an economy and career bar, and now we are going to add the public sentiment bar as well. So this will store the image of that fill so that we can access the fill amount parameter of that and update it. So let's create this new variable public sentiment. Let's add bar, and also to store the value of that public sentiment, we need to create one more. So we are doing Control D over here to create a duplicate, and we are going to add this public sentiment parameter. So now we have both of these. So let's go down and create a method which we will use to modify the field public sentiment that we created. So let's do public void modify public sentiment. So yeah, so now we have this method. In this method we are going to update the value. So enter public sentiment equal to mathf dot clamp. Now you would be wondering what is this clamp method. So actually this clamp method takes three parameters. One is the value and the other two is minimum and maximum. This will make sure that the value is always in between minimum and the maximum value. In our case it is 0 and 100. And so let's use the field public sentiment global field that we created, and let's add the amount to it. Over here you see that we have a conflicting name. We have used the same name, so let's change this to amount, so that will make it clear. So yeah, then we can add the amount to our existing global field, and then we can give the maximum and the minimum value, which is 0 and 100. So this part is done. Now once we have updated the value, we need to update the UI also. So to update the UI, we have this update UI method. We are going to change the fill amount. So let's call the public sentiment bar that we had created earlier to store the image. Use the field fill amount, and let's do public sentiment, which is the score, and divide by 100. The reason that we are doing divide by 100 is because, as I had shown you earlier, that the value of this fill amount, the maximum value is 1 and the minimum value is 0. But the score that we are storing is between 0 and 100. So to convert it so that it is always between 0 and 1, we need to divide it with 100. So that is the reason we are dividing it by 100. So let's go back and let's save it. So I think it will take some time to load. So also let's call this method the modify public sentiment that we had created, so that we can test it. So let's, in this approve method, let's call it somewhere in your game. You can call it anywhere you want. Just for testing purpose, I am calling it over here. Let's call modify public sentiment, and let's add 20 to it. So now I have saved the script, Now once the script is saved, as you see currently the fill amount is 100 for this public sentiment, so let's just reduce it to 50 because the initial value that we had taken in our script was 50 for this public sentiment. So let's reduce it so that we can see the increment of 20 that we are making. And now let's run the game. So now I have started the game. Let's see. Now if I approve it, as you saw, the public sentiment bar is increasing. So this is how you can easily create a score meter in your game. It just takes few lines of code and Gemini makes it very simple. You don't need to make any art, you just need prompts and Gemini to complete this whole thing. So earlier it used to take a lot of time, but with the help of Gemini you can use this. So this was all for today. Thank you. See you in the next video.